streets of San Francisco.
I'm going to talk about a few things, but mainly one of the topics is about Adam, as in Adam and Eve. And I've shown in quite a few videos over the last few years that indeed Adam and Eve are actually two massive petrified giants that make up the 7 continents. And people will say, oh, no. Before you have, a know-it-all knee-jerker, truther reaction, or know-it-all Bible, scholar reaction, just hear me out and look at what I have to present. I have a lot of videos on my BitChute channel showing, indeed, yes, it's quite clear that Adam is North America, South America, it's his head, and Eve is, parts of the Middle East and Africa, and the two of them kind of meld together in, Northern Europe and Asia and so forth. It's complicated. They're a jumbled, pulled apart ball of petrified massive giants. They are the land that we live on. And so there's a whole lot more to it, but keep an open mind, and you might learn something if you can just set aside some of your old ideas, ball earth, flat earth, all of that. It's more complex than either of those two narratives, and it's more complex than the Bible narratives that most people have been exposed to. So I'm not trying to brag, I'm not some big know-it-all, but these things are right. This is real end-time truth. If you believe in the Bible, you have to admit that there are end-time messengers. So let's get into the video. There is his mind, like the song asks, and there's the Leviathan going through.
It's gone! The Curry eruption continues! They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! The brilliant shooting of Stephen Curry continues, and he ties the NBA record with his 12th three-pointer of the game.
Coach said if we got a clean rebound, we can push it. Andre got it to me in the back.
This Antarctica is Adam's brain.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it.
Is Adam's brain. Keep an open mind. Real end-time truth is not the same as the truth or narrative, nor is it the same as the biblical, the false doctrine, biblical narrative. So this is complex. It's a lot different. There's more to it. Keep an open mind. This Antarctica is Adam's brain. So now you know what this song really is about. You never did know before. Now you know. It's about Adam and his head and his brain. Okay, here's the fifth one. Fifth one. And within an hour. And they've been like, I think, 4 different choppers. So, you tell me. It's a different one too. Jeez. What the hell? It's not the first time I've seen this. Alright, so this picture, this one right here, I think is more representative from looking at the brain from this view. See it? I don't know. But yeah. looks like a brain. It's coming right out of his head and his face. So you tell me. And then there's the Leviathan, right there, in between his hair and his. Let's see. See it? So pretty crazy. Billy Joe Armstrong is an avatar of Adam, and the song's describing Adam's situation, his current situation, with his frozen mind and what happened to him. Crooked spine. Alright, so all these gas stations in California have to be retrofitted starting the first of the year. And so a large percentage of the gas stations in San Francisco have been closed. Some of them, like this one's already been retrofitted, I guess. But this one here, it has to be shut down on the first, and they have to do all these so-called environmental precautions, and they have all these special tanks. And it's just funny how it coincided with the war in Iran. So you got all these closed gas stations. A lot of them just closed for good. They're not able, because it costs a couple $1 million to retrofit the gas station. So a lot of them can't afford it. You know, if the owner doesn't have a couple $1 million just sitting around spare to pay for the retrofit, he has to close this gas station. So, you know, so a lot of So really only bringing this up about the gas and the war and these gas stations, just to show you that, you know, something I've been talking about on this channel a lot is this is not, there's no governments, there's no politics, there's no Trump. Like this is all like a facade. This is a script, and it's supercomputer running the script. So, you know, the gas stations were all, it's all timed out. It's probably happened many times. I think this could be our 20-something time we've gone through this, you know, or more, a whole lot more. I don't know, but it's definitely, to me, it's almost for sure it's happened before. And it's computer generated script. We're part of the script. Our DNA's been integrated. It's a big mess. But anyway, that's the point of this. It's not about the gas prices. So the sheeple are led to believe all the woes of the world are, you know, political, and like they could vote it out or something. And the truthers are led to believe it's the mysterious, you know, Masons or elites doing this. And I'm here to tell you that it's neither of those things, and that's both of a lie, and that there's an ancient supercomputer, ancient technology, so advanced, so far from what anything our mind can conceive, that's been running this all along and shrinking us down. and we were huge giants. So it just isn't anything. The truther narrative is an absolute joke. So miss me with your little truther explanations. I've heard it all before, and it's not right. And also, while you're doing that, try and wrap your mind around the fact that all the truther narrative and the biblical explanations you've been given were created by this supercomputer. So, you know, or some politics, or like, when will it go back to normal? Because it ain't going back. This is going to be Armageddon, okay? This is the script. And there's nothing you can do to change it. We've been losing a lot of gas stations in San Francisco for ages now, and this is again going to be more of them that get taken out. And here I am at the Devil's Crossroads, but basically, just funny, right? You got to think about it. Like, the timing is exquisite, right when the Iran war has started, and gas is going to be $10 a gallon in no time. Just wait. All your food, like I told you, I saw a vision. No one believes that I see visions. They don't like to hear. You're all programmed to recoil from anyone who talks about visions. And for years upon years and eons, there have been fake visionaries. And they're put there by the devil to discredit the real visionaries. So that's what's really happened. The reason you don't like hearing people talk about visions is because you've been programmed not to believe in it. Time and time and time again, there's somebody claiming they had visions, and it didn't take long before they rubbed you the wrong way and you saw they were a fraud. And what does that do? That just makes you know in your mind, oh, I'm so certain there's no such thing as visions. So you can't see through time. But yet, the truthers, they don't believe in visionaries, but they believe in all the predictive programming, all the movies and everything, that predicted 9/11 and all that. And like I've shown you, all the songs that predict everything. So how is it that when it's a movie and a song, it's okay? It can predict things, and that's acceptable in the trutherdom, in the truther mind prison. That's okay. You can break down a Hollywood movie and show how it's predictive programming, and that's cool. But don't you dare talk about having visions, and don't you dare play a punk rock music, because boy, that means you're satanic or a liar. It's like, you guys never stop to consider you got brainwashed and you got mind controlled, and that things just aren't the way that the truthers think it is. Generally speaking, people will not and cannot believe in visions unless they've had a spiritual experience outside of time. That's what I've seen. It's just once if you're tied into time spiritually, you will not be able to believe in visions. You can't accept that. You think you're some special person because you're a truther? I hate to break the news, but millions upon millions of people are truthers. There's not that many real humans here. Most of the NPC mainstream people are robots. They're fake filler people. They're street light people. They're not real people. So I hate to break the news. So you're just among, so you got 10%, 20% real humans on Earth. The rest are all cyborgs. So you're a truther in that 20%, that 10% of real humans. So, that's not a big accomplishment. You're not some rarity. Because I got news for you, most of the real truthers, most of the truthers, real or fake, are just part of that human, actual population, that 10 to 20%. And now it's lessened after the Trumpstein juice. So you're not so special. Trutherdom is not that rare, or it's not alternative. You're actually a mainstream sheeple if you're a truther. You think Richie from Boston is about as mainstream as you can get. The people, don't realize, but most people don't realize, but this is the beginning of Armageddon. This Iran war is not fake. It's as real as it gets, and it's going to escalate. It's going to escalate into World War III, and it's going to escalate into Armageddon. And most of the truthers are going to be going, "Oh, it's fake. It's CGI. I'm such a know-it-all. I'm so much better. I'm so obscure with my truther knowledge, and I know about the fake war." And you guys are going to be, blathering on like that with your fake trutherdom, and till the warheads start hitting your city, and then you're going to realize it's not a joke. This is end days. If you haven't noticed, the script has been dead on, right on cue. Hasn't missed a beat. There's not one thing out of place in the Bible script, software program. The scripture's right, and it's right on track. We're in the fourth horse, and this is Armageddon coming up. I don't know the timeline, but I do know that this war will eventually escalate. It may, ebb and flow or whatever. I don't know. It'll have its twists and turns, but it's going to escalate into World War III and eventually Armageddon. And like I said in that one video, it's the town of Megiddo. Megiddo is real interesting town. That's where the name Armageddon comes from. And in the Bible, they believe Megiddo is where the Battle of Armageddon is fought. And what it is basically, you look at the town of Megiddo, and it's got layers of having been rebuilt. There's like 27 layers of Megiddo, or 26 layers of Megiddo. So this is the 27th Armageddon we've had, if that's what it's, why it's layered like that. I don't know, but pretty interesting, and like I said, all of that, the Middle East is Eve's vagina and Eve's, anus, and the Euphrates is her, it's her colon going down to her anus. So, people are just, the truthers just aren't as advanced as they think. So I wouldn't be surprised if, Iran knew. They know it's the, look at this mural. Look. All right, so here's this mural, and I've seen it before, and I couldn't figure it out, but since I was talking about Adam, I drove by it. I drive by it a lot, but I realized that's Adam. That's the ring of fire around him, see? So, these people, these Canaanites, they know a lot more about what's going on than we do, and so sorry to break the news, but it's just another thing just showing you that it isn't what we think. The truth or narrative is a lie, the mainstream's a lie, and there's a hidden truth back there that most people aren't ever going to get to. And it's been right in front of your face the whole time. It's just, for whatever reason, people don't want to pay attention. They don't want to look. They want it to be something that has to do with themselves and sin and, okay, you get the picture. So I think the thing that people need to realize is the Bible tells you that Adam originally stretched from one end of heaven to the other, which is exactly what I'm showing you in my past videos and this video. Adam is South America, North America, Canada, up into Alaska is his butt. His legs are all hanging and they've been scattered around. And interestingly, Jewish mysticism says that Adam was a giant and his body parts have been scattered around and that he has been shrunken down through sin. So his sins shrink him down. And so it's showing you the resets are happening over and over and they're being shrunken down. I've shown you all the doorways here in San Francisco, the old ones pre-earthquake, are built for larger people that were maybe, around 9-10 feet tall. And the buildings, have 15-foot ceilings. The Victorian buildings, they have 15, 20-foot ceilings. And 10-foot doorways, 12-foot doorways, because the people were bigger. They were built for bigger people, taller people. We're being shrunken down. I don't know how, if it's every few hundred years or 500 years or 100 years, I don't know. But I tell you what, we are being shrunken down. And if you look back in all the religions, there's references to it. But they've been blotted out. And you look at the oldest religion, Jainism, like I told you, that also is about, the humans being shrunken down. And it's been altered, and they're saying, oh, the humans were 20 miles tall. And they've been shrunken down to this size we are now, according to Jainism. But they were much bigger. It's what I'm telling you. This isn't a maybe. It's a maybe because you were brainwashed and lied to. If it's a maybe in your mind, that's why. And I've presented enough information already to just show us this is what's happening, And what's happening is in every world religion and all the ancient mythologies and all of and including Christianity, there's references to and a lot of information that's been buried about that we're giants and we've been shrunken down. It's in every religion, but it's been nerfed. It's been like they took the book of giants out of the Bible. What do you think? Why? And like I said, the one religion that has a lot of information about giants and that we're being shrunken down is the Jewish mysticism, the Talmud. The rabbis know. It's you that doesn't know what the hell's going on. We've been lied to. Wake up. This isn't a maybe. These are, Adam and Eve are the 7 continents. It's what it is. It's so obvious. But your mind programming, your brainwashing, especially the truther brainwashing, it's more damaging than mainstream sheeple brainwashing because, it's coming from a place where, I'm not brainwashed. So that's like even more dangerous to believe you're not brainwashed and everyone else is when you actually are more brainwashed. That's a problem. And the truthers aren't willing to face this. Most of them, they're not aware of it, and most of them aren't. They don't have the spirituality or the intellect or anything to cope with this fact. So they lash out and bash you and everything else. They basically act like little immature children when you confront them with this fact that they've been brainwashed and the truth narrative is fake. Same with the Bible experts. They're in the same boat. So what I'm saying is, we have a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it. I don't think most of the, religious people, and I'm speaking of all religions, Christian, Buddhist, whatever, all the religions or have been deceived by the devil, and the truthers too. With all the sheeple, everybody got fooled, and we don't have a lot of time to get down to the real truth. And it's going to take a lot of, intellectual capability, but more importantly, spiritual capability and spiritual maturity to cope with this fact that we've been deceived, and all this knowledge we have is all fake knowledge. And it's going to be hard for a lot of people. It's a difficult task. There's just too many things. And why, like I told you, the biggest truth or psyop is giants. Why? Because this is the main thing they want to hide from you. You're being lured into sin. Truth or narrative is all sin. You're being lured into sin so you can lose your soul and be shrunken down and more manageable for the beast system to harvest and live off of. He's eating you. He's cutting you up into little bite-sized pieces so you can be digested in the Silicon Valley, in Googling stomach. You go down the mouth, his gullet, right there, it's Genentech. And your soul goes right past YouTube, past his throat, down Crystal Springs Reservoir, into the Stanford Collider, and into Google's stomach, where you're written into the software program. Your DNA, your genetics are literally being devoured by Genentech, by the beast, by Trump. And you're being devoured, you're being eaten. Adam's children are being eaten. That's his food. That's the beast's food. Duh. All right? So just don't give me any guff with your truth or garbage. You're not right. You don't know what the hell's going on. You're going to have to face it. You're going to have to get humble and realize that you got fucking punked. Excuse my French. But that's what it is. I got to go. Bye. Found him a video, and it's pretty interesting. So, but you have to think about, well, did everything move? Does the Earth shift each time there's there's an Armageddon, there's an end time, so it's quite possible. Let's see here. There's the city. Here's a Canaanite. They're all over. This city's full of Canaanites. And they're very unassuming. They just dress real normal, regular dude out walking his dog. But no, these people, there's 26% Canaanites in this city. So all those buildings, 26% of them are Canaanites. Think about it. It's more than per capita. It's more than New York City or Jerusalem. And yet nobody ever hears about San Francisco being a Canaanite town. They only hear about Jerusalem and New York being Canaanite town. But this is the headquarters for the Synagogue of Satan, right here in San Francisco. Why? Because it is the beast, just like I tried to tell you guys. And oh no, it's in the mountains. Well, what do you see? There's mountains. The whole thing is mountains. You didn't get the memo? San Francisco is the hilliest city in the world. Duh. Because it's mountains. It's giants rising up out of the ocean. Just like I said. Look, right there. Look at all the hills. So I don't even care. Oh my God, this guy almost hit this poor pedestrian. Wow, what? It was like the most intentional. What an a-hole. Anyway, who cares? I gotta go. Bye. Here we go. Coast Guard. Coming real close. Most truthers never gonna get it. Oh, it's gang stalking. Yeah, well, you're not gonna get it. Right, so this Antarctica is Adam's brain. Right, so this Antarctica is Adam's brain.
Stop.
So now you know what this song really is about. Never did know before. Now you know. It's about Adam and his head and his brain. It's your cataclysm, your apocalypse. There you go. This Antarctica is Adam's brain. In the Caribbean, not duh. Right where his head is. Okay, well, I don't have time to break this all down for you. You can check it out. And so there you go. And see, you can see it. Look at that. And guess it might be from the other side, but it's still the same. You know, if you flip that around, I should find an image on the other from facing the other side. But so you have his skull. You have, see, they're all just like slipped apart, like through some kind of cataclysm, and you know, they've been floating around in salt water for however long. Living, I don't, you know, so the brain has been sucked out of his head right here, and then his skull is here, and his face is slipped off. There's his skin of his face. So there's his face, there's his skull, there's his hair, and his skull, his brain has been sucked out of it, and the Leviathan is coming between his hair. Okay, so it's just everywhere right in front of your face, and I see it all the time. I mean, I saw it right here in this, you know, in this label for this Pepsi. And just look, it's right there. Look, if you turn it upside down, let's see. P is paternal, right? And then ICD, iced. And then right there, DAD, paternal iced dad. It's right there, right in your face. And I just see things. I know this is a little harder for some people to see, but it's in all the signs, it's in all the art, it's in all the music, it's in all the movies. The whole truth has been in front of our faces the entire time. The whole truth has been in front of our faces the entire time. But it's your ego, your pride, your avarice, all of your sins that hold you tied into this world and tied into the lies you've been fed by Satan that prevent you from looking at things differently. And this is what it is. And the further you get away from those sins, the easier it is to see these things, in my opinion. I'm not trying to brag, this is why I see them, I'm less sinful than you, or that's not what this is about. You know, it's just, I don't, you know. So anyway, see, you can't, there's no getting to the truthers. There's no getting, it's just like you cannot make any headway with the truthers, just like you can't make any headway with the sheeple. They're not going to listen because they're too tied to their ideas. Oh, no, but Richie from Boston told me about the chemtrails and the Civil War. And Bigfoot. Oh, no. You know, or I'm a Christian because Hugo talks. And it's like, you know, you guys, it's just not anything like any of the stuff that you're seeing in the truth narrative. And I'm like I said, my parents were truthers. Their parents were truthers. Not all of them, not my entire family, but most of my family on, you know, and especially my immediate family, a lot of them were truthers. So truthers have been around a long time. They were, my grandparents were truthers on my dad's side were truthers in the 40s and 50s. So it's just. And I'm not saying this like to show my truth or creds or something. It's the exact opposite. I'm saying this to show you that since I had so much exposure to the truth or narrative, I'm able to see it's fake. And like I said, I really only saw it once I had some spiritual stuff happen. So, take it or leave it, whatever. But I can tell you right now, every last word of the truth or narrative is some kind of trick, some devils from the Jays and the Canaanites and from the beast. And that pseudo underground, truth, hidden truth, persecuted truth narrative has been around for eons, for ages. The beast has been using that method to fool humans for a long time with agents. Back in ancient Egypt and Babylon, Sumeria, they had fake truthers. So that's what I'm trying to get to. Not that I'm a truther and I have truther cred. It's the opposite. And then, so anyway, point being is, all this stuff is not new. You're not, because of 9/11, you started, looking into the truther narrative, or because of the whatever, McMartin preschool, you started looking into the truther narrative. This is not new. It's been around the whole time. And this is a supercomputer. Think about this. Who made this label? You think some Freemason sat and drew this upside down? No, this is a supercomputer. The people are like robots. And before you get it twisted and try and say, oh, well, you're a robot too if you can see all this, or this is MK Ultra. Before you come blathering with your truth or garbage and your fake knowledge, you better think deep. This is more complex. Before you come blathering with your truth or garbage and your fake knowledge, you better think deep. This is more complex. Yes, that happens. The devil does control these people, but God also controls them, and God also controls us. So if you got to think of it in these terms, if the devil is doing MK Ultra stuff, so is God, fool. Just think about it. You know what I mean? This is a cheap copy. Everything that God does, the devil copies, inverts it, and copies it. So hard to explain. But no, the truther stuff is a joke. These people in the truth narrative are just waving these batons and blathering and going on and doing these breakdowns of movies and this and that, thinking they know what the hell's going on, and they just don't. And it's just a second lie that goes against the first lie. And since it goes against the first lie, you figure it's got to be right. So stupid. Since the Democrats are evil, then the Republicans must be good. Oh, duh. I mean, that is the knowledge. That is the mentality of the truth narrative. And so I'm not some big better than you guy either. I bought it. I was a truther all my life, all through the 80s, 90s, all of that. I was studying all the truther stuff in the underground bookstores before the internet. Going to see people speak, all that. And then, so I mean, I bought it too. It just somehow through like spiritual stuff, when I finally started doing spiritual stuff in my life around 2000, then I started seeing, wait, this is deeper than I thought. I always knew, I was born, raised, knew that mainstream was a lie. Then I thought the truther narrative was real for most of my life until like around 2000. And and I started waking up to the fact that the truther narrative was a lie. And by 2010, I was like, I saw clear, it was a bell. The entire truth narrative was a big, big stinking lie. And I saw all the truthers on YouTube, and the 2010, 29, Carrie Cassidy and David Icke and all those kind of, people back then, Bill Cooper and all that. And I was like, these guys they're shills, they're robots. And I left the truther narrative. And I was not in the truther narrative until the pandemic. And I came back to warn people from I had a lot of visions, starting real heavy in 2015. From 2010, light visions, 2015, super heavy, to the point like being, on ayahuasca times 10 every day. And so it's a miracle. It's a God's miracle. I'm not like, dead or homeless or in an insane asylum because of what I saw. It was so heavy. But hey, Mama, be good. Hold on, Mama. But she wants to go out. Hold on. Okay, here. When Mama says do something, you better do it. She doesn't have a. You have to do what Mama says. But look, so I just said, look, okay, this is my job. I have to go back and tell these people what I saw and show them that no, the truth narrative is a big joke. Believing in, Hugo Tox and Black Goo and Sabrina Wallace is no different than believing in NASA and Michio Kaku or, Albert Einstein. You're just as hoaxed. Just as hoaxed. It's the same thing. It's the same lie. It's like just subtly different. Just like there's the difference between, the truther narrative and Michio Kaku and Neil deGrasse and Tice, or whatever you want to call them. The difference between the two is like the difference between Democrats and Republicans. They're both idiots. So you want to hang on to this? Carrie Majay or Stu Peters or what? I don't know. I mean, I should name some deeper. Whitney Webb and, James Colbert or whoever, the big truthers of the day. And this goes for the Bible scholars, too. I see them all on YouTube, and hate to tell you, but they're not real humans. All these truther Bible people, they're robots. So, better get a handle on this because it's going down quick right now. We're in the fourth horse. I'm not wrong. Carolyn Levitt is the fourth horse. She's already been in office for a year. So if you're sitting around, buying the truther narrative in the fourth horse, where does that put you? It puts you in deep trouble. So, look, Dad, it's not a joke. This is not flat. It's Eric Dubay and the flat earth. Like, come on. They just punked you. You didn't buy the first spinning ball lie, so they gave you a second flat plate lie. Duh. The truthers admit they're idiots if you stop and think about it. Oh, it's flat, you idiot. It's not a spinning ball. Okay. And then they say, oh, and it's a dome. Well, just think about it. How the hell can it be a dome and flat? So you're saying it's half a beach ball cut in half and we live on the bottom half of it? How does that look? That doesn't set. Where in nature do you see anything like that? Nowhere. So it's a ball of confusion. Ned's atomic dustbin, It's basically Adam and Eve jumbled up, and their two kids jumbled up together in a ball. A soup, ice on the top, and I'm imagining a dome of fire down below. And I don't know, but it certainly isn't Eric Dubay, and it certainly isn't NASA. So why are you hanging on to Eric Dubay's little narrative? Duh. So anyway, we could get to the bottom of this, but it ain't going to happen if you keep bashing people to come with the real truth. And if you're one of these YouTubers and you don't talk about what I'm telling you and don't point to the channel, don't tell, don't link it, you're toast. Tell you right now, every last one of you. I know who all you are watching. I see you guys with your little burner accounts and all that. I'm not stupid. And every last one of you is going to cook. You're going to roast mofos because you had to just keep your little niche truther stuff hidden so you could sell it. No, it's never too late. It's never too late. But it's case by case. But anyway, yeah, whatever. This is what it is. It's everywhere. I'll show you too. What's his name? Green Day. Billy Joe. That's Papa. That's our ice dad. That's Adam. And he's got a song about it too. I think it's Brain Stew or something like that. So I'll show you that. But anyway, whatever. All right. So I also saw this movie, and Joe Dirt. And just think about the name, Joe Dirt. So this is Adam, okay? So, he's dirt, right? Adam is dirt, if what I'm saying is right.
Let's go! The curry eruption continues! They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it.